And we are live. Welcome to my two viewers. Welcome to the show. I changed the name of the channel. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but one of the things that I was always jealous about with other people in social media is that they would always have these cool names, like these Twitter handles that I always thought were hilarious. There's a guy who on Twitter named Shaquille Oatmeal. And he has the picture of the Quaker oatmeal guy, but with Shaquille O'Neal's face on it. You know, there's Boko Harambe. You know, if you remember Harambe, the gorilla from the Cincinnati Zoo, and the Boko Haram terrorist group from was it Nigeria? I think they are. So, and I was always jealous that they could come up with such funny, clever names, and I always felt so flat-footed and not smart. How are we doing, Jonathan Paul? Welcome to the show. And there was one guy that had a cat in a Chinese costume, and he called himself Chairman Meow. And I was like, oh man, all these people got all these clever names and avatars and stuff, and I'm just like, just very uninspired and unoriginal. But this, and even to be honest, the name of the channel now, which I'm calling myself Exempt Human Specimen, which I think is hilarious. That's something from when you ship cargo, that certain things like, cancer tumors, whatever, that don't get x-rayed, certain things are exempt human specimens, And I saw that sticker when I was at work today, and there was these two kids there, and they said, you got to do something. And I took the sticker off the piece of plastic it was on it, put it on my chest. I said, no, I don't have to do that. I'm an exempt human specimen. And they laughed, and I thought, you know what, that's pretty funny. So I decided to change the channel name. All part of the great, exciting new changes in 2021 that everyone is hopefully enjoying. And there's going to be a lot of changes. So not the least of which is the value of the US dollar relative to everything else. For most of last year, gasoline in the Northeast was under $2 a gallon, and in the last 3-4 days or last week, it's jumped up to $2.25, $2.30 in some cases, $2.40. So, and wintertime is the slowest time for the lowest amount of driven miles by Americans, and everyone's in lockdown and they lost their fucking jobs anyway. And so, the price of gasoline is going up, but even though no one's driving anywhere because they don't have a car and they're about to become homeless and they don't have a job. So inflation is coming, and you need to prepare for that, and you need to try and mitigate that. And of course, leads to the number one topic, and this is really going to be the theme probably really going forward, is going to be Bitcoin, right? Everybody remembers on October 12th, I got scammed at a 5.86 Bitcoin. 5.86 Bitcoin on October 12th was worth about $67,000. I checked just before the show. As of this show, at this time and date, 5.86 Bitcoin is worth $201,894. That's a big increase in a very short amount of time, and it's only going to get bigger. Now, I don't have that anymore, but I knew this was coming, not because I know the future, but because I understand the past and I see what's happening in the present. Okay. And what a lot of people don't seem to understand, and I'm going to try to do a presentation tonight, is Bitcoin is better money. It's more technologically advanced money. And this makes it superior to everything else on the planet, and it will eventually eat the entire planet. And that's not a joke. It's going to eat the entire planet. So why is Bitcoin better money? Okay. For a very long time in history, I got this. This is my props. I brought props. All right. I have these. These are real silver quarters that I got a long time ago for a taxi job from Staten Island to Harlem. And this was a black dude, and he paid me all in change. And when I got home and I had to count it out, I found these silver quarters in there. So way back in the days of the Roman Empire, the Romans had a problem. You know what I mean? People were cheating in transactions, right? They would take these coins and they would shave them down, like the coin clippers of the 1200s, you know, and the beautiful Christian era, which was so great. They completely forgot this. So the Romans had to come up with a technological fix for people cheating in transactions. Because you got a big empire to run, you got ships coming and going to Rome all the time, and they're full of grain and olive oil and wine and copper and slaves and exotic animals from Africa, and all this stuff costs money. And if you have to constantly stop and weigh the money and check and bite on it with your, you know, it's like, is it real? It's such a huge, an enormous pain in the ass. It slows everything down. And the ships are coming and going with the tide. You can't make the ocean stop. So they had to come up with a technological fix for money, which had been around for a long time before them, gold coins and silver coins. And what they did is still in use today, believe it or not. And it is those ridges on the coin, right? Those ridges right there. That is a Roman technological advance in money. By putting ridges on the coin that you could feel with your fingers, you knew this was the official coin of the realm. This is not a Roman coin, this is an American coin. But this technological advance allowed transactions to happen much more quickly and much more reliably. And this, of course, powered the empire. So they're big empires, or in order to have a civilization, you have to have exchange, you have to have trade and cities, right? The title of this stream is Counterfeit is Injustice. I did a stream on my old channel called Money is Justice, which Aristotle said. And the corollary of that, which Aristotle also said, is the title of the stream, which is that counterfeit is injustice. So if you take a coin and you shave it down, so you're not getting the whatever half ounce of silver or whatever it's supposed to be, that's counterfeiting. You're giving less value than you're supposed to give. You're cheating someone, right? It's unfair. It's unjust. So that's one way of counterfeiting. There's other ways of counterfeiting. Of course, you could take a piece of copper and just coat it with silver on the outside. So there's a bunch of different things. But the basic idea of counterfeit, not giving full value in an exchange, is an injustice. Because money is the thing that equalizes unequal exchanges, right? Somebody builds houses, somebody owns chickens. The guy who owns chickens wants a house, okay? But the guy who builds houses says, you know what? I like chicken and I like eggs, but you know, a house is worth a lot more than one fucking chicken. So how do they exchange? They need money. And for the longest time, for a very long time, and the gold bugs are crazy about this, the gold and silver people, it was gold and silver coins, you know. But there were problems with that. The Romans, like I said, came up with a technological fix to guarantee the purity of the money. But once the Roman Empire fell, you know what? The coin clippers came back, and it was, you know, one particular group. We all know who they are, and they caused problems everywhere, right? So this has been a problem historically that needs to be solved, and Bitcoin has solved that problem in a way that's never been solved before. Because one, there's a limited number of Bitcoin. You cannot make more than 21 million. There's only 21 million. Now, each Bitcoin can be broken down into 100 million parts called Satoshis, right? That's what they call them. And right now you can buy $1, $1 will buy you 2,880 Satoshis. Or so $100 will get you like 288,000, more than 250,000 Satoshis. So when the value of Bitcoin goes up, the value of all them Satoshis go up. Okay. And Bitcoin right now is crashed, by the way. It's crashed. You know, when I got scammed, it was $11,600. And I'm sure you'll read tomorrow somewhere in the financial papers or you see it in the news, Bitcoin has crashed because it was at 42 3 days ago, and now it's at 34. Yeah, it's crashed. When I got robbed, it was 11,000. It's now crashed upwards to 34,000. Yeah, some crash. beware of this. It's all bullshit. It's all what they call FUD, F-U-D, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And that's going to come on really hard these days because people are trying to pile into this as hard as they can, and they want to get in. They're accustomed to the system we have, which is counterfeit, right? The Federal Reserve Corporation of America is counterfeit. They issue you green pieces of paper, which they say are currency and are not redeemable by gold or silver or anything, right? You can't get this anymore. As a matter of fact, when I got scammed out of Bitcoin and I was desperate to get money, I have like a coffee can with what I throw all the change in. And I went and I actually cast it in. There's a machine at Walmart you do that with. And it kept, in the machine kept rejecting one coin over and over and over. And I couldn't, because the extras kind of dropped to the bottom. And I got pissed, and I'm all in a frenzy. And I finally picked up the coin. I was like, why the fuck won't this machine take this coin? And then I looked, and it was a real silver dime. So hilariously, the machine that counts the counterfeit and gives you the little slip so you can get other, paper counterfeit would not accept the real silver dime, the real money, which I thought was pretty ironic. But the counterfeit that we use, is based on an enormous injustice. And when people say the world is corrupt, the words corruption and injustice go hand in hand, right? They're right next to each other in people's perception. They may not use the word injustice, or they may use the word corruption a lot, but they mean injustice, And that these unjust transactions, unjust exchanges, people see that that's the way the world works, and they think I might as well join in with that, right? Why bother being a good person? You're just going to be on the wrong end of injustice. Why not be on the winning end? Bitcoin is going to fix this in ways people can't anticipate. Everyone on the political right and the political left and all these dopey dissident streams, they're arguing various different crap ideas from 300 years ago. We should have monarchy. We should have authoritarianism. We should have. And the problem with all of that is they're all vulnerable to all sorts of corruption, because human beings can be corrupted. They can be corrupted. People with a lot of power can change their minds. There's all sorts of issues. All these revolutionaries like the ones in Africa, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but they can't pull the oil out of the ground unless Chevron helps them. And even though they're supposed to be communist, but then their neighbors are trying to knock them out because they hate the communists. So Chevron has to hire a communist army from Cuba, because and all these dictator types, they're going to make all these great changes, but then they find out just to hang on to power, all the things that they were going to change, they know they can't change anymore, and then they find out that they're too small and too insignificant. There's insufficient civilization, insufficient exchange between the cities that they occupy, that they have to end up falling into the Soviet camp or into the American camp. So, and Bitcoin fixes this in a really big way. Hey, Mrs. Saad, how you doing? Welcome to the show. So Bitcoin allows you to plug into a global financial network instantly that the Federal Reserve and the co-ethnics that run it do not control, and they cannot stop you. And human incentive drives all behavior. So when you can get away with cheating, right, it incentivizes cheating. And with Bitcoin, it's extremely resistant to that for a number of different reasons. I'm not going to go into it. There's hundreds of Bitcoin tutorials all over YouTube and stuff, and you can find out what that is. But essentially, the rules of Bitcoin are, they very much incentivize playing by the rules and very much disincentivize breaking the rules. Once a lot of people realize that's the way this thing works, it's going to become more and more and more desirable, because in an unjust system, the nature of it is a few people at the top benefit enormously and everyone else is victims. And if you could just, right over there, see a system that's fair, that you could just plug into anytime you want, that has an enormous attractive power to human beings. And it's going to incentivize a move away from an unjust system. Now, how quick that's going to happen and how long that's going to take, I don't know. But the I think it's going to happen faster and bigger than anyone expects, and even than we expect. One of the things in all these streams I was on and listened to, imagining that there's some political solution to any of this is ridiculous, because everyone knows it's all a joke. They're all corrupt. None of them are going to do anything. You know what I mean? None of them are going to do anything, right? So where's here's let me I got so many things I want to share. Let's show this. This will be like for my nieces or something like that. Some my normie nieces, to try and some other people I know IRL. Let's share screen. All right, Chrome tab. Should be that one. Share, is that it? Come on, show me what it looks like. Okay, it's coming up in the bottom. All right, we're gonna click that one. This, I just saw this on Twitter. I thought this was a great one. Here you go, right? There's the future vice president of the United States of America, who is legally, the Constitution makes it so that she cannot be president. And you got your red arrow pointed to someone here. And who is that someone? Why, it's Ghislaine Maxwell herself. So the idea that anything has actually changed behind the scenes, literally, is delusional, and that's, I don't know who dug that picture up, but it's a great picture. So I expect Ghislaine Maxwell to, I don't know what's going to happen with the trial, but I'm guessing there'll be a mistrial, or she'll be found not guilty, or, one thing, something or another. She'll just basically skate, and whatever. She's cooling her heels right now in federal custody, but that's really not that bad. And she'll come out unscathed and unharmed, because we all know what runs the world. This profoundly unjust or corrupt system, we'll call it what you will, is what runs the entire globe right now, because the US dollar is the world's reserve currency. And it's going to lose that position, I promise you. I don't know when, but it's going to lose that position to Bitcoin faster than you know, because all those people benefiting from it, they know it's a corrupt system, and nobody wants to be without a seat when the music stops, right? When the game of musical chairs is over, you don't want to be without a seat at all. So, and there was some other things. This is like another thing, mostly for my nieces, just so that they understand like where all this is coming from, right? I'll share screen again. We all know that a lot of the stuff tons of this stuff is hidden in plain sight. It's super obvious. Where all this stuff comes from, right? Who's running the show, right? It's the same people all the time. They use the same symbology. They recycle it over and over and over. They change it a little ways left or a little ways right, but it's always the same people, okay? And since they now control they control the Federal Reserve, the U.S. Treasury, and the U.S. dollar is the world's reserve currency. Essentially, they have control over most of the world. The exception being North Korea, Iran, Syria, a few places. Venezuela's holding out. But the method of their control is financial control. They can create such unjust conditions that everyone is afraid to be on the receiving end of it. And so they bend the knee, they bend the knee to these people, and these guys win. Except Bitcoin is not going to bend the knee, because it's not a human being. It's not a group of human beings. It can't be intimidated or shot or bombed to death, or you can't kidnap its children and rape them. So it's a decentralized system. So it's a type of enemy that these people have never had, have no way of stopping, and have no way of countering. And nobody sees that yet, but I see that. And this is going to profoundly change the world. Because like I said, Previously, money touches everything and controls most things. So if the money that controls most things right now is grossly unjust, and a new, more just, better money is available, and anyone can plug in anytime they want, 24/7, anywhere on the globe, in any amount. You can in $5 amounts or $5 million amounts. You can be part of this. This has enormous implications that not everyone has thought through yet, and it's going to be both a very exciting and very unsettling time. But this is mostly what we deal with, right? This is. I mean, we all mock this, and this is everyone on Gab right now. This is we all know. I love this meme. It's so disgusting. But it's so true, right? This is the truest one. This is this is so many people in the middle of the country. That's them. Grossly overweight on their mobility scooters with the AR-15s up here in the top, right? Israel being our greatest ally, Israel, and the Eagle Bird and all that stupid stuff. And this is more people, than you probably know. And it's uncomfortable to realize that this is, these people are going to be essentially against us, but they'll come around one way or another, because the incentive of getting out of a screwed up system that is starving them so they don't get the 64 ounces of cold carbonated corn syrup, and they don't get the double cheese fries, and somebody took away their AR-15, they're going to want they're going to be confused as to how and why that all happened. They don't understand that America is not dying. America is being killed, and that the people responsible have names and addresses. They don't understand that the way we understand that, but it doesn't matter, right? Making them understand, seeing that all the details behind this, it doesn't matter at all. All that matters is that these fat mobility scooter, flag waving, Eagle Bird, double cheese fries, AR-15 wielding, midwits are incentivized to choose a different monetary system. And that monetary system is going to be Bitcoin. And I guarantee you that. Because there is no alternative. There is no alternative. Not the Russian ruble, not the Japanese yen. There is no alternative. And actually going back to precious metals and like, how are you going to do this? Like, really? You're not going to do it. No one's going to do it. Okay. There's a reason why this got replaced by paper money, because paper money was a technological advancement over this, right? But we're not going backwards. We're not going backwards. You know what I mean? You want to be Amish, you could go be Amish. If you're a wacky little cult in the middle of nowhere, and you can live because there's a big, enormous, complex civilization around you that makes it possible for you to live that way. But we're not going back. Not going back at all. So history moves one way, it moves forward. And it's this is where's this one? Well, this is let's go with this is my. What is this one? I got so many emails. I got, we'll do this. The federal government, right, which couldn't stop BLM, and it couldn't stop Antifa, and it can't find Baked Alaska. That guy Baked Alaska, who was in the Capitol building broadcasting and doing whatever he's doing. He's the only guy who hasn't been arrested, right? Luckily, thank God, the 20,000 page domestic terrorist law, 20,000 pages worth, just happens to be ready right now, and I'm sure Congress will get that signed pronto. Yeah, but the federal government, which can't seem to stop BLM or Antifa, they've kind of done this before, and they'll do it again, right? Okay, white people at the point of bayonets. And what did these white people want? Did they want to burn down something? Did they loot? Did they steal? No, they just wanted their schools kept the way they were. They didn't want to have to forcibly give up, the environment that they had created for their children and their posterity. But the federal government brings down as much power as it needs to whenever it needs to, especially when the people it needs to bring down are white. Everyone knows about that woman, Ashley Babbitt, that was shot. I have that video on my phone, so I can show people. It's legal. It is legal, acceptable to kill white people, and they're going to do this as much as they can. And they're going to call you a domestic terrorist. You know what I mean? The Nashville bomber on Christmas, obviously that's part of this whole thing. That whoever that guy was, I mean, he might be the only American who actually died of COVID for all we know. You know what I mean? And they're going to stop like RV people. I pass RVs on the highway a lot. Not now because it's cold and nobody wants to be riding around in an RV, but that is like the gayest shit ever. It's seriously gay. It's not my cup of tea. These are the boomer people that they just showed on the mobility scooters going to get, driving to Cleveland for the world's largest, French fry convention or whatever, who knows what they do, whatever they do. So, but they're riding RVs and they'll be pulled over left and right and their names and addresses and everything taken down. And heaven forbid they're carrying a firearm in the wrong state. They're going to get jacked up. They're seriously going to get jacked up. The feds are going to make the cops screw down on everybody, and then everyone's going to be out to defund the police. And that might not be the worst outcome ever, because we have we got real problems with these guys. They want their pensions and their paychecks. And some of them are psychopaths that just love screwing people. And we need to go from where we are to a better place. And that better place is going to be this. This is one of my favorite Pepes. One of my all-time. Well, it is now, right? So you want to be the Pepe getting the champagne poured. That Pepe owns Bitcoin. You understand? The guy doing the pouring, he does not own Bitcoin. This is what the future is going to look like for you. You have a choice. You can be crying salty tears, serving others, or you can be sitting there in your beautiful tuxedo, and enjoying whatever Chateau de Chasselas wine. Speaking of which, I think it's time I had a drink. What am I doing? I don't know how long I'm going. 34 minutes sober? That's got to be some kind of record. That absolutely has to be some kind of record. All right. What else? Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm getting glasses. I got to wear fucking glasses. You would not believe how much this whole thing's going to cost me, like $800, almost $900 between the eye exam and this, that, and the other. But the frames are going to be made out of titanium and shit, and I'm gonna look like it added 20 points to my IQ. No one will dare argue with me, not because I'm a lunatic. No, all right, that's the reason why really nobody's gonna argue with me. That I'm a lunatic that's gonna smash them on the internet and make them look bad forever. But I'm gonna have glasses that make me look like at least a triple-digit IQ. At least a triple-digit IQ. So, like I said, big changes, changing the channel name. Glasses coming. What else? I don't know. Some things change, but other things stay the same. Some things, you have to have those touchstones. You have to have the things that people come to expect from the channel. By the way, I got 14 subscribers. What's up with that? I'm trying to lose subscribers. Trying to lose subscribers. All right, let's see. Okay. And I wanted to talk about the things that's the reason why Bitcoin's going to win is because there's a perfect example. There's some kind of high-end supermarket in the West Coast called Vons and Albertson. And they had a delivery service that was all union guys, union truck drivers, union dudes, right? Union pay, medical benefits, trucks, everything, uniforms. I'm sure it was lovely. Bringing gourmet foods to all these high-end people on the West Coast. 300 drivers, right? And they all got fired at once. Boop, done, wiped out, no more. So who delivers the designer kumquats to the Persian expats in West LA? Well, it's going to be DoorDash. So those 300 guys that had union jobs don't have union jobs anymore. You think they're married? Yeah, probably a lot of them are. You think they got mortgages? Yeah, kids, etc. How are they going to pay their mortgages? Are they going to go from being a union guy to being a DoorDash guy? That's going to happen everywhere. And that's what's going to cause an enormous amount of social unrest, add inflation to that and hyperinflation to that. And we're going to have a really rough time. The way you protect yourself is you have to have something that is not US dollars and something that the government can't confiscate from you. And I'm telling you, anybody wants to argue with me, there's nothing better than Bitcoin. And what Bitcoin's going to do, if you think this month was good, going from 19 to 42, and now that we've crashed down to 34, a price we haven't seen in 3 days. Oh, we haven't seen numbers this low in a week. Oh my God, Bitcoin's gone to zero. When it comes out, zero. The Bitcoin zero meme is down there. There's a bunch of different ones. That's a funny one. But you need to get ahead of this. You need to protect yourself because no one's coming to save you. No one is coming to save you. And a better, more secure, more sophisticated form of wealth is what you're going to need, because you think things are crazy now. You think things are horrible now. What's that movie? I never saw the movie. A Clockwork Orange, where they force the guy's eye open and they make him watch something he doesn't want to watch. And that image of the dude strapped in a chair with his eye being forced onto something, that's going to be you. You won't be able to run away from this. They're going to find you. They're going to make your phone, they're going to track you with the public COVID, this and that and the other. And, you're going to have to see whatever they want you to see. And you're not going to see all the things that you would normally want to see. They're going to hide all the things they're doing. The next Ashley Babbitt or an entire family of Ashley Babbitts that gets killed because of the suspicion of domestic terrorism, you're not even going to know what happened. And if you find out it happened, the propaganda around it will be so horrible. If you go, hey, that didn't happen that way, the crowd is going to come at you like a mob, like an animal baying for blood. So very, very, very important to understand this is what the future looks like. And having something that is going up in value while the dollar goes down in value, that when you look at it and you feel a little more secure and a little more confident, is going to be very important psychologically going forward, in order not to be black-pilled, in order not to be in order not to go out of your mind. Like I said, did I know that Bitcoin was going to be exactly where it is right now when I got ripped off in October? No, but I knew this is coming, and I know it's coming in the future. Numbers so big you won't believe it. You will not believe it, because there is a limited supply every day. Right now, there's only 900 Bitcoin available every day, no matter what you do. You can't go faster. You can't make more. You can't bribe somebody. You can't cut in front of that line. Bitcoin is controlled by mathematics and computer software. And that's and consensus. It's not democracy, it's consensus, but it's very similar. A decentralized way of method of control, of change. And so even though Bitcoin is open source software, anybody can write Bitcoin software. You could write it right now if you wanted to. You could write up any change you want. However, you have to submit it to everyone. All right. And everyone in the network is going to look at this and go, okay, what's your brilliant idea on how to improve Bitcoin? And everyone's brilliant idea is going to be, it all goes in my pocket and you get fucked. Well, guess what? That rule is not going to be adopted. Surprise. So in order to get any changes made, it has to overcome a lot of hurdles, which corrupt and unjust people are not going to put in the work, and they're going to have to prove that whatever changes they want to make or that they propose are going to benefit everybody. Because if it doesn't benefit everybody, it doesn't go through. And it is the exact inverse. It is the inverse of how the small hats rule everything. The small hats corrupt a few people at the top and control everybody at the bottom. Okay, they get to that. They get to the leaders, right? Lots of our own close to the throne, and the leaders lead you wherever. When the church was for gay marriage and all, they find the top of any given group or organization, corrupt them, which is easy and relatively cheap, and then they lead that whole group. Well, that can't be done with Bitcoin because one, like I said, it's controlled by math and software. You can't bribe it. You can't threaten it. You can't shoot it. You can't bomb it. Okay. There's all of their conventional tools not going to work. You can't take a picture of Bitcoin in bed with a goat. You know what I mean? Or kitty porn or something like that. That's not going to work. You can't say, aha, we got you. Now, here's a picture of you and Ghislaine Maxwell, Bitcoin. None of that stuff is going to work. And again, it's a system you can get in and out of 24/7. 365, send and receive value all around the globe for anything, and they can't stop it. There's been nothing like this seen ever before. This is the best money ever. That is to say, the best justice ever. Not a lot of people realize this yet, but it's true. And you'll see it's true. The way you'll see it's true is the price of Bitcoin going to go up. NGU, number go up. And you scratch your head, why? And I just told you why. And you can believe it or not believe it. You can, whatever. You can bring out your list. Here's my list of reasons why that's not going to happen. Okay. I'll see you next month. Next month, number go up. We knew this was coming. We knew this was coming. It is inevitable. What they call TINA. There is no alternative. What is the alternative? Do you think there's going to be a political alternative where some guy who's uncorrupted comes to power and defeats all the corrupt ones and uses the corrupt money to create justice? How do you think that happens? That's what Donald Trump looked like. Like, okay, he's already rich. He can't be corrupted, blah, 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 blah. But he swims with those people all the time. He's not going to go against them ever. Bunch of retards. Oh, we're gonna do X, Y, Z and be violent. No, you're not. There's nuclear weapons in this world now. Okay? There's nukes. What do you think you're going to do? What do you think you're going to do? They have nukes. So the solution must be a nonviolent solution, a peaceful solution, which trade and commerce are peaceful solutions that they cannot corrupt and they do not control. That solution, and anyone who wants to come and argue with me, or I'll come on your channel and argue with you, that solution, the seed of that is Bitcoin. Not all the other shit. There's only one thing, one and only one. Only one. And then there's going to be a lot of bait and switch. Oh, someone's go, oh, here, you want Bitcoin? Come over here. And they go, oh, no, wait, here, have this instead. It's better. No, one and only one. There is no God but God, and Bitcoin is his name. Inshallah. The more people see this, and the best part is you don't have to buy into the system 100%. You could buy in 1% or 0.5% or 10%. You could do it on the sly. It's not like you have to publicly declare it. Okay. You don't wear it on the, no one can see you're doing it, right? You can do it on your smartphone. You can store it on one of these devices, something this big. This is the actual size of the device. Literally can hold a Swiss bank account. There has never been anything like this before. And it's going to make changes you cannot begin to imagine. You cannot begin to imagine. And that's what's really exciting. That's why I was like crazy out of my mind. And you could argue, well, you were that way before. I'm not gonna push back against that too hard. But there's nothing else. There's nothing else. There is no alternative. There is no alternative. Okay. And so what is the future going to look like once it's carved out? I don't know. I don't know how we get where we get. But the first thing is this monster has to be slain. And the way it gets slain is you remove its power. And its power mostly is the ability to corrupt. Okay. Is the ability to counterfeit, to give too much value to this one and take away value from that one. Take from the kulaks and sell to the bourgeois in the West. Right? Make the kulaks, chop down all the wood, take their labor, starve them to death, and then sell the timber to the Europeans. When you take that from them, what do they have? What do they really have? That's a damn good argument. Okay. It's probably about the best argument. And I've said this before, Bitcoin people, they don't know who the bankers are. They hate bankers, but they don't know who they are. They say, yay, long Bitcoin, short the bankers. They don't know who the bankers are. Like my niece doesn't understand who the 666 people are. She doesn't know who they are. You know what I mean? She has an instinctive understanding that, those people from that town, not too far away from where she lives, she don't want to go there. But, she doesn't make the connection, and I don't care if she does. I don't care if anyone does. I'm no longer going to waste energy trying to wake people up, red pill people or this or that. The incentive to be justly compensated for whatever it is you're doing, providing goods or services or whatever, that incentive, the desire not to be cheated, is a very strong desire that never goes away. And that system, an alternative system, exists today. Whether you see it or you don't see it, it exists, and it's only going to get stronger and stronger and bigger and stronger. And you can listen. You can join in, or you can watch it roll past you. But that's what it looks like. This is what fixes nearly everything. Nearly everything. Because most of what you think needs to be fixed doesn't need to be fixed. All these authoritarianism arguments are ridiculous. How are you going to stop people from behaving in ways you don't want them to behave? You're going to go hands-on with everybody? You're going to do what? You're going to put a camera in everyone's bedroom? Now, I'm not saying you should allow degeneracy, but you have to understand you can't spy on everybody all the time. Yeah, East Germany could do it because it had a bigger thing, the Soviet Union and the Soviet bloc, to live off of. But if you don't have a bigger thing to provide you with resources, you're not going to be able to do that. Half the people will be watching the other half of the people, and then who throws them in jail, and then who watches them? Not going to work. What will work is an incentive that influences behavior without you having to do anything. Like, and I'm a big fan of this, the Ghanaian prison system. I think we should import to America the Ghanaian prison system. The state provides the prison cells, provides the prison guards. And the family or the friends or the NGO, church group or whatever provides everything else for the prisoner, including food. So if no one shows up to feed you every fucking day at the prison, oh well. And if that's the way prison was, a whole lot of people would find a way to control themselves. I mean, you'd have to go through a few waves of this. But a lot of problems will be solved in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, there'd be new cells, new empty cells, and you could throw more prisoners in there. And then people very fucking fast would wise up really fast. So I'm all for the Ghanaian. I never thought any idea from Africa would ever be a good idea, but that's a good fucking idea. You know, it's a great idea. I love the fact that, like I just said, I have to buy glasses. It cost me $85 for the exam, plus $35 to take the picture of the back of my eyeballs so they can analyze that, and then blah, 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 blah. The frames are $300, and the lenses, they're good up close, they're good in the distance, they got the anti-glare, blah, 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 blah. They add 20 points to my IQ. It's like almost $900 for glasses. But if I punch a cop and I go inside prison, guess what? They give me an eye test, I get the glasses for free. I might not get the $900 glasses, but I'm getting glasses for free. You know what I mean? When I go to the dentist, right, I got to pay $275 or whatever I got to pay for the dentist. But if I'm in a joint, I get that stuff for free. So why should taxpayers fund the medical care for rapists, murderers, thieves, drug dealers? Why should we do that? So the brilliance of the Ghanaian prison system, when you meditate on it for a moment, it's genius. And I would absolutely import that here. Could that be done? You can't even talk about that now. But in the future, deciding how much of the value you create should be taken from you and given to a murderer or a drug dealer, it's going to be a little bit different when you have a lot more sovereignty over your wealth. It's going to be very, very different. But the way you get that is it's not by holding Federal Reserve. It's not by holding US dollars. It's not by holding US dollars. Everything you fear, entry teams and the NSA listening to your phone calls and blah, 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 blah. And they have that stuff. And, I don't know, they'll apply it whenever they can. But no paycheck, no private eye. You know what I mean? If nobody's getting a paycheck and a pension for that, they're not going to do it. It can all be shut down really quickly, and it's going to happen quickly when it does come. It's not coming tomorrow, but when it does come, it's going to happen very quickly. When the dollar collapses and nobody wants it anymore, they'll instantly be incentivized to do something else for something else. And then the power is going to shift so enormously and permanently that it's going to create an entirely different world. But we ain't there yet. Will we get there in my lifetime? I don't know. Probably not. Or I'll probably be so old that I'll just be trying to find my dentures and my $900 glasses to watch the blinky screen to see my predictions coming true. But it is inevitable that Bitcoin becomes the world reserve currency. It will dethrone the dollar. Right now, everything priced in dollars. In the future, everything priced in Satoshis. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Because the people that are running this show are super corrupt. They are straight up evil. They have no empathy for any other human beings. There is no cruelty. There is no crime they will not commit. We all know this. The history of the last century teaches us this. And when you look at the victims of communism, what do they all have in common? There was nothing they could do about it. There was nowhere they could go. They had no way to fight back. There was no alternative. Well, then now there is an alternative. And it's not going away, and they're not shutting off the internet. And it was, what if they shut off the internet? They're not shutting off the internet. Listen to me. They're not shutting off the internet. They're never shutting off the internet, particularly the financial part. They are never shutting that off. And as long as that exists, we exist. So, and this is going to clean their clocks. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. But, and it's funny because I was over on Jonathan Poll's thing the other night, and everybody's like, "Hey, where's James? Where's James?" I'm in the chat, saying my usual stupid shit, They don't even know. That's good that they don't know about this channel because they just fuck it up. And they're like, wow, he must be happy about the price of Bitcoin. Not since I lost 5.86 of them. It's a very bittersweet thing when I watch that when I watch that number go up. It's bittersweet. Like I said at the beginning of the show, the 5.86 Bitcoin I lost as of today are worth $201,000. When I lost them, it was only worth $67,000. 6 months from now, it's going to be worth a lot more. Am I going to be happy with where the price of Bitcoin is 6 months from now? Yeah. But every time I look at it in my head, I go times 5.86. That's what I could have had, but I don't have anymore. And it's never coming back. Which, by the way, I did file a claim with the FBI Cybercrimes Division. And it's so funny when you do that. You file a claim. It's like they actually tell you screenshot this or write down this information because we're not keeping any record of this. This is your only record of this is going to be screenshots. I was like, maybe because they're overwhelmed or whatever, but it's like it shows how much the FBI Cybercrimes Division actually cares. Well, it depends on what it cares about, but they don't. They one thing they don't care about is cybercrimes. They're not even going to bother keeping a record of it. Oh yeah. What else? What is going on? Trying to think of a bunch of notes. I got my notes, but yeah. Memes. There's going to be another meme. The big meme this year, and again, it's a Bitcoin meme. Have fun staying poor. For everybody that wants to fight back, it's not originally a Bitcoin meme. It comes from a different thing, but you're going to see that a lot when people go, "I can't believe it," and "It's a scam," and blah 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 blah, this, that, and the other. The response is going to be HFSP, or have fun staying poor. Because it's a very clear path right now. It's to me, it's super obvious, super clear. And I would love to hear anybody's argument against it. I don't think anyone actually has any coherent argument against it. So, what's the name? Walrus Laboratory, we got to have fascism. Listen, nobody cares about your retarded 1930s fucking ideology. Nobody cares. No one cares. You know what I mean? You and that homosexual Richard Spencer can go do whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? No one's gonna care. You can have a video game where you rule the world in your peaked caps and goose step all over the place. As long as you have enough Bitcoin to pay for it, no one gives a rat's ass. But we live in the real world, So 1930 solutions are not going to work in the 2030s. Okay. And in the same way, gold coins, right? The price of a gold mark in 1930s Germany went incredibly high, right? How high did it go? How high did it ever go? I don't have it. What? Where was it anymore? I lost it. Oh, that sucks. Anyway, I must have deleted it. I can't even remember all the things I delete off my phone. I keep thinking, and this is actually this was a funny thing because I posted this on Gab. This was another great picture. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. There was a comedian in the 1980s named George Wallace. He was a black dude, and his name was George Wallace. And he used to say that the American dream was for every black person in America to swim back to Africa with a Jew tied to his back. And it was a great joke. It's a hilarious joke. It didn't get big laughs at the time, but this is a little too close to the truth. But as you can see here, we have look, you have Michelle Obama and Barack Obama in a boat I don't know if they're going back to their place on Martha's Vineyard. Maybe they're trying to save the environment. They don't want to take the ferry because the ferry burns fossil fuels, and they're going to try and clean the environment. So they're going to go from Hyannisport, Massachusetts, in their little raft there. They're going to paddle back to their $15 million mansion on Martha's Vineyard. But I don't know how well you can see it on your screen, but in between Michelle and Barack, who doesn't seem to be doing much there, right down here on the boat, the name of the boat is actually Perception, which I thought was just precious. I thought that was absolutely brilliant, So, and if people, the thing about perception is, when do you see it? Like when do you see it? And there are people that can look right at this and not see it, right? And I got another great photo. This one was also amongst my favorites. Where is it? Where are we at? Come on, bro. No. I don't want to see. Oh, here we go. Here it is. Oh yeah, this one. This is absolutely. This one's so brutal. This is so brutal. Like, and I would love to be. I would love to. I get a kick out of showing this to people in real life because watching their faces contort. Watching them. Watching them try and process this. Right. So this photo on the left in the white dress, Michelle Obama. On the right, oiled up, ready for a fight, is Mike Tyson. That to me, I showing that to somebody and just watch their face, like not, the cognitive dissonance that happens to me is an absolute pisser. So, as their mouth moves, they're like a fish out of water. They're trying to figure out how they're going to come back with a quick response. And the difference between what your eyes are telling you and what your brain believes can, for me, be sometimes pretty funny. Because let's face it, we've all been in that situation, right? We've all realized that what we think and what we believe does not reflect the reality, and you see it. Hopefully, you see it early enough that you can make any sort of course corrections that you need to make, and not screw up. But some people aren't going to see it until well after, way past the time they should have seen it. So I suggest to a lot of people that you look around what's going on around you right now, what the future is going to look like, and you make the smart choices. You see what you need to see, and then act, because you don't want to be caught flat-footed. You don't want to be the person who goes, "Wow, Michelle Obama's back and Mike Tyson's back look remarkably similar. I wonder what could cause that phenomenon." You don't want to be that sort of person. You know what I mean? Or if you do, well, I'll get you some French fries and a mobility scooter. And Israel, is our best ally sticker, and you can you can go down, to the AR-15 store, and take your your Biden bucks and get on the list or waiting list for an AR-15 after you pass the anti-white supremacy 20,000 page domestic terror test that they'll be giving out to you, which you'll fail anyway because you got the wrong color skin. But yeah, we're in for some good times, and some bad times. It's not as bad as you think it is, but it's certainly going to be worse if you don't do anything. If you passively accept what's happening and you don't try to get out of it, well then, whatever happens to you is your fault. You have to, as I said this before, you have to be an active participant in your own rescue. Sitting there on the sidelines, pointing at various different bits of outrage porn. Oh my God, look at this outrage. Oh my God, look at that outrage. You know, in order to wake people up, hoping that you'll convince everyone else to do the hard work and you'll just sit back and reap the reward. That's not a really good strategy, and it's kind of repugnant. So, and the people that were doing that on social media that I used to follow, I don't want to hear them anymore because they're like children to me. They're like lazy children who want somebody else to do what is difficult and must be done. And I don't. And when I was a kid growing up, my mother would say children should be seen and not heard. So I don't want to hear a word they have to say. They want to play their fantasy games and live in their dream world. Stay in their bedroom underneath the blanket, reading a comic book with a flashlight or whatever it is they do. That's great, you know. But they should not be heard in any adult conversation, you know, in any rational conversation. And most of their antics I don't think are funny or entertaining. So I'm just looking to stack as much as I can. Like I said, everybody knows I took a loan to buy Bitcoin, right? At 13,000. And like I said, Bitcoin's crashed. I borrowed money to buy Bitcoin at 13,000, and now it's crashed all the way to 34,000. So was I lucky? You tell me if I'm lucky. You heard my reasoning, okay? A lot of people are probably going, well, you have your arguments, you know, post any arguments or comments, you know, below and tell me how I'm wrong. You know, I'll have you on. We could have a nice debate. You know what I mean? We have a very polite debate. I'll wear my glasses. You know what I mean? I won't yell at you. I don't think I'll yell at you unless you're an asshole. You know, I debated Norvin Hobbes. It was perfectly civilized and polite. Because Norvin knows what he thinks and wants to say, and he's not emotionally invested in his ideas. His ego doesn't go down with his ideas necessarily. So it came off really well. And if you're as good as Norvin, and most of you are not, but if you're as good as Norvin, and, you know, I've been more than happy to debate you on this topic, you know, how change occurs without the primary motivator, the primary incentive to human behavior, which is seeking gain. How that happens in the current system would be that would be an interesting debate topic. Okay, and whether or not the alternative system that I have invested my time and money in has a future or not, that would be an interesting topic. But you need red pill people. I'm not talking about finance people or whatever. You know, the idea that you're gonna trade your Bitcoin, right? Something that's going up in value for fiat currency, which is going down in value. I'll just hang on to this for a little while, and then I'll trade it for a big bag of fiat, and I'll buy a Lamborghini, and I'll snort cocaine out of the ass crack of a supermodel in a high-end hotel room. And that was a meme like back in 2016, 2017. That's, you know, that's not here. That's not happening anymore. All the money coming into Bitcoin now is big corporate money, gigantic corporate money. And it's not even here yet. It's not even here yet. The amount of money coming in is going to be unthinkable. Okay. To bring Donald Trump back into the conversation, back way back when Trump was a candidate, he was talking about his economic platform. MAGA economics. He said all these big companies have money overseas that they refuse to bring back into the United States because the tax rate is too high. That's why I got a lower tax rate for Wall Street, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to convince all these companies to bring the money back in and open factories in America and use that money to make America great again. But we have to super lower the tax rates, okay? And that was his idea, but it never actually happened. So Apple phone, computers has hundreds of millions, hundreds of billions overseas. They don't even know how much is. Trump at the time, I think the estimates were somewhere between 2 and 7. Well, that's not 7. That's 7. 2 and 7 trillion dollars of cash that is sitting outside the United States that that these companies have never paid taxes on because the tax rates in America were too high. So they made the profit and they just kept it overseas, thinking that someday they'll bring it back when the tax laws are more favorable to them, or they can get a great deal. Well, now they're in a situation because money printer go burr, right? They keep printing millions, trillions, 2 trillion, 3 trillion, 4 trillion. The value of all those trillions that were stashed away in the 90s and in the aughts and the 2010s is now going down rapidly. What do? Where does that go? Do you think it goes into gold? Do you think it goes into real estate in Moscow, or where do you think it goes? Where do you think it's going to go? Okay. So Trump's plan, and by the way, I'm not saying Trump is some great economic genius. A lot of people knew that there's money overseas for decades. Coca-Cola, GM, they've all hidden enormous sums or kept enormous sums from the IRS by holding it overseas. ExxonMobil, Standard Oil, for decades, man. There's how many Standard Oil companies are there, right? The old Exxon, which is now ExxonMobil. For how long? Were they making money all around the world and not reporting it to the IRS because it's money made outside the United States? Why should they pay taxes on it? What does all that money do? And for individuals that are wealthy, they have more than they're showing you, more than they're telling you. What do they do when that all starts shrinking? They try to go somewhere else. Where are they going to go? That's the question. Van Gogh paintings? Picasso's? Like where? There isn't enough, right? Where are they going to go? So that's what's going to drive Bitcoin to numbers that literally you will not fucking believe. Like you will just sit there and go, you're going to wake up and you're going to poke yourself with a needle because you think this can't be happening, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And the reason why it's going to happen is because there is no alternative. Okay. Hyperinflation is coming. And the reason why hyperinflation is coming, asset inflation, right? The stock market goes up because they keep printing money. The rich don't want to lose any value. So print more money to prop up my assets, right? And it's going to work until it stops working, okay? Because you can't print an extra. It's more difficult to print stock. It's more difficult to print Tesla cars. You can't print Tesla cars. You can't print a pound of hamburger, by the trillions. You can't print gallons of gasoline or whatever, you know what I mean? Or even iPhones. You can't print them that quickly as you can print $1 trillion or $2 or $10 trillion. And no one can stop the money printer. So when this falls, it's going to fall really fast. And the people at the top, they know it. They're not as smart as they make themselves out to be, but they're not stupid. And all this money, like I said, these big corporations have piled up. The investors are going to be screaming, why are you sitting in cash? Why are you sitting in cash? Cash is going down 2, 3, 5, 7% a year, and the shareholders are going to demand this because they don't want to see their wealth get melt away. And where's it going to go? It's going to go to the best performing asset in the last 10 years and for the next 10 years by far. And the best part about you being a nobody and being broke and you can move a lot faster than that. You don't have to wait for the shareholders to force a vote, a proxy vote, to make the people on the board of directors dump their cash and buy Bitcoin. You can jump in now. That's the brilliance of it. You can jump in now anytime you want. You can fucking Ziggy the Pollock. Oh my God, Ziggy the fucking Pollock. I saw Ziggy the Pollock. He and I drive the same car, same color. His is a little newer than mine. He has a Trump sticker on the back of his fucking car. And I saw him at the airport. I said, Ziggy, take that fucking sticker off the back of your car. I'm like, Ziggy, because I know Ziggy's wife sometimes drives that car. He leaves it for her at the train station. I said, Ziggy, somebody's going to fucking follow you home. You don't know if some psychopath is behind you and sees that Trump sticker and decides, he's going to punch a Nazi and it's your wife in the car. Take the fucking sticker off the fucking car. And believe it or not, I got through to his boomer brain a little bit. And he takes out his knife and he starts scraping it, like literally, like right there, because I reminded him of something he cares about, his wife, and he wants to protect his wife, as dopey as this fucking guy is. I said, take that sticker off the car. You don't know. Now, what are the chances? He lives in a 94% white town. But I don't know what the chances are, but the chances are not zero, right? There's the potential that some lunatic could do something horrible because they're going to, it isn't because they hate Trump. It's part of that. But they see somebody weak and easy to victimize. Ziggy's wife, which I'm sure she's a boomer chick. I'm pretty sure she's not carrying a Glock because it's Jersey. And I doubt she lifts weights and practices Taekwondo. You know what I mean? I think she's a Jersey housewife. So somebody senses that there's an easy target there, right? They sense that brings out their animal, their predator instinct. I can get away with this. This is going to be easy. Don't do that. Take that shit off your car. It's simple. Just take that shit off your car. You know what I mean? Take all that stuff down. Take off the flag, take off the eagles, take all that stuff down. You don't know who's driving behind you on the highway. What are the chances? Probably 10 million to 1 or 20 million to 1. But you don't even want to take that chance. You don't want to do that. And I actually believe it or not, that I got through to him. The rest of it, I can't get through to him. He's just a fucking dumbass fucking boomer. Everything you say to a boomer, they have a stupid fucking superficial remark. Like it's, they have their comebacks are the shittiest comebacks that they think are fucking genius. But yeah, Ziggy the Polak is like, and all the people like him, take the Trump shit off your cars, take the American flag off your fucking cars, take all that shit away. You better keep the lowest of low profiles. Take everything off the back of your car. There should be nothing in the back of your car. No bumper stickers, no nothing. No little pictures of ballerinas or your dog or anything. Zero. Nothing. Don't let some psycho, and there's tons of them now, riding around behind you. Don't let them get triggered off of anything. Just be anonymous and just slide by. That's going to be the smart way to do things. And believe it or not, I actually got through to fucking Ziggy. So I'll call that a win for the month of January. But anyway, my viewership now is dropping. Everyone's bored with me talking about the same thing. But I'm not so sure I'm going to have too many new topics to talk about in the future, because it's all going to be related back to what creates value and what creates stability and prosperity, and in a world where that's going to be vanishing rapidly. So I will, coming up on 1 hour 19, I will let you guys out. Thank you so much for showing up and putting up with me once again. And I will, whatever. I'll play the Greek disco music, and I'll talk to you guys again in the future. And have a good night.